Thank you for tuning in to Last Week in Forza, the Forza News Show, so you don't have to, bringing you updates from the past week. I am your host, Merganator. Now sit back and enjoy today's episode. This is basically just going to be a Forza RC recap and my opinions, so yeah, let's jump into it. Well, as per usual, the Forza community was a mix of happily optimistic people and wildly pessimistic people in regards to the Forza RC and almost everything that was said about it. From it being an invitational to the teams themselves to the format and everything in between. Well, on September 21st, the first round of racing kicked off for the Forza RC, and everything about it was quite stellar. From the broadcast itself, to the production values, the casting commentating team, to the racing itself. And let's talk about my experience and why you should watch next week's racing. Before I get into the recap of actual racing, let's talk standings. I want to discuss the broadcast itself. Let's focus on production first. It was amazing. It was on a level that would have made ESPN poop themselves. The transitions, graphics, the amount of stats on the screen at times was more than I ever expected. It was actually really entertaining and eye-catching. The casters all felt naturally at home on stage discussing the Forza RC. Gabriella, Meckberg, Flip Mode, and Mellish did a great job keeping me engaged and informed me before and after the races, while Ali Tack and the legendary Shea Adams casted the race during the broadcast. Those two had great energy, were very entertaining and knowledgeable during the racing action, and contributed vast amounts of track knowledge and Forza community knowledge for the viewers to enjoy. Shea's breakout performance in esports came naturally since she works in the motorsport world professionally, and she did a phenomenal job casting the Forza RE with Ali. Ali Tack himself somehow kept his composure while working beside Shea, and was a natural on the stage. His experience casting previous Forza RC and many YMTV broadcasts prepared him for this very moment. The casting team were all wonderful, but now let's shift focus towards the real reason that we even watch this thing, the racing. The TLDR version, in my opinion, on the racing is that it's wonderful and the drivers were just hungry and it was exciting to watch. There were racing accidents and plenty of grand battles made during the first race weekend. And let's jump into some of those battles, shall we? Race 1 had Rise Motorsport, Lazarus, Fast Racers, Forza, and Williams going around Catalunya for Race 1. RZM Chris went into the back of FRF Tesla during Lap 1, which slowed down Tesla. Lazarus Racers bullied his way through Williams 7 on Lap 1, but was not penalized. At least I don't think he was penalized, I didn't see it. Williams Mitch went full ham and jumped 9 positions in the first lap and just continued to run away with it. FRF Tesla locked up the brakes and got tapped in lap 3, sending him from 4th to 11th place. Shea Adams spilling some juicy info saying that Tesla and Force 1 do not get along as they battled for midfield positions. A 5-second penalty to McQueen due to avoidable contact hurt his position even further, and that race ended up being Williams Mitch in first, Williams Roadrunner in second, and Rise Motorsport Chris in third. Race 2 of Match 1 at Silverstone was much more of a clean race, with not much in terms of battles nor drama, just a clean, steady race. Williams Mitch winning that race, Lazarus Racers in second, and FRF Handicap in third. Handicap won the Hard Charger Award for that race, and Force 1 was hit with a 3-second penalty. Race 3 was at Hockenheim and was clean up until lap 5 when RZM Chris spun LZR Rossi, and it hasn't been confirmed if LZR Force 1 hit Chris, but that was just speculation within the mixer chat during the race. Force 1 gained 2 positions as a result of that race incident. Mitch won yet again with Handicap taking second and Williams Roadrunner in third. Roadrunner also winning that Hard Charger Award for that race. Mitch winning all 3 races easily put Williams on the board for match 2 on the bracket for the weekend. After those 3 races, Williams had a dominating 107 points, Lazarus in second with 65 points, Fast Racers Forza in third with 51, and unfortunately Rise Motorsport only had 35 points. Handicap earned 35 points alone, and to me, he was the MVP driver during that match, and there's no such thing as an MVP driver, but to me, I'm going to start rewarding those after each match. handicap, in my opinion, was hungry, he was fast, and he raced incredibly hard and showed the world that he had what it takes to race amongst the best and did a great job. Match 2 kicked off at Mugello for race 1, but this time Williams had a new trio of teams to race against, that being Team Highlands Racing, Red Bull Racing, and Raging Dragon Esports, a new team who has never been in a community race or even a big event before that I've seen. So it's really interesting to see Raging Dragon go against these 3 big teams. To kick off the matchup, Box forced his way between THR Rich and another driver, whom I could not make out to see who that was, and made up some positions and somehow didn't get penalized, so it was very aggressive from Box straight from the get-go, but managed to avoid some penalties. Venom had a breathtaking double overtake on lap 6 and was one of the nicest overtakes of the weekend. There was a 4-way battle back and forth throughout most of the race against Rich, Chasmo, Venom, and Seven, and that was an exciting midfield race to watch. Rich and Chasmo had incredibly fast top-speed cars, while Venom and Seven had better handling and would catch Rich and Chasmo through all the flowing Mugello curves. But if Venom and Seven didn't pull away enough, Rich and Chasmo would blaze past them on the long straight, and they would have to battle all over again. It honestly made for some exciting racing to watch. On lap 6, though, Chasmo tapped Seven wide, which slowed them both down, Chasmo slowing down for Seven and not passing him. At this point, Shea Adams spilled some more insider beef, saying that Box and Seven didn't get along, which I didn't know about, so there's a rivalry there, as they were racing on at Mugello. At the front, Williams Mitch and Red Bull Racing Lage had a great battle for first, but Lage was able to keep his position and win that race. Mitch earned second place, while Box landed third, rounding out that podium. In race 2, it was held at Spa, and poor THR Europa got smashed off at turn 1 by his own teammate Rich, who missed his braking line and hit a slew of people, mostly affecting his teammate, spinning him around, and was given a penalty on top of that, so THR not looking too hot in race 2. So even though it didn't look too great for the team, Chasmo and Seven connected, and THR Sparky was able to jump into 10th, even if it was temporary. Sparky was actually the coach for THR, so unfortunately he was just at the back of the pack, and Virus was supposed to have been on the team. So it was good to see Sparky racing at this level, but I'm pretty sure he would have rather had Virus on the team. Williams Mitch earned his 4th win of the day at Spa, keeping Lage and Box behind him. Lage earned the Hard Charger Award due to earning 7 positions in that race. Race 3 was held at Nürburgring GP, and the racing was filled with battles, and it was RBR 1 and 2, Williams 3 and 4, with Raging Dragons Esports Hydra in 5th. Hydra was the only person to use a Dodge Viper in the GT class, and he drove that race car remarkably well around each race. The battle between Red Bull Racing and Williams was super fun to watch, but then we also had a nice battle between THR Rich and RDE Hydra. Rich put the moves on Hydra on lap 2, taking 5th place, and on the final lap, after some back and forth and some battling, Hydra was able to take back the position from Rich. However, Hydra had some penalties, and it looked like he was going to lose it due to that penalty, and after everything was said and done, Rich actually ended up in 5th place. Lage took the W, with Williams Mitch earning 2nd place, and Box finishing in 3rd. Raging Dragons Esports Kami took the Hard Charger Award for the race, and that was it for the racing for the weekend after 6 races. So after these 6 races, Williams Mitch won 4 times, and Red Bull Racing Lage won twice. Red Bull Racing won match 2 with 98 points, Williams in 2nd with 87, Raging Dragons in 3rd with 41, and unfortunately Team Highlands Racing was in 4th with 32 points. The MVP driver, in my opinion, was Hydra. A complete show-up from him, and he came to race. He took the car that nobody chose. He was just a young man at this level of competition, just showed up and earned some serious points, raced super hard, proving to perhaps be the strongest RDE driver on the team, and an up-and-coming driver for future championships. The racing was exciting, and I cannot wait for match 3 and 4, where LMP and Indy cars meet on the track. However, the season points are as follows so far, even though I really don't get how they ended up with these points. But actually, after looking at it, I believe the highest points for the matchup is what they earned. So Williams is 107, and so they're in first place. Second place, Red Bull Racing at 98 points. Third place, Lazarus with 65 points. Fourth place, Fast Racers Forza, 51 points. Fifth, Raging Dragons Esports, 41 points. Sixth, Rise Motorsport at 35, and Team Highlands Racing sitting 7th with 32 points, just behind RZM. Keep in mind, Sauber, Joda, Mordor, TX3, Alien Motorsport, and SMP have not raced yet, so you won't see what happens until, we don't know what will happen until next week, when match 3 and 4 will take place with the remaining teams. So match 3 will be Red Bull Racing against Joda and Sauber and Mordor Game Club, which will have an exciting matchup of racing. Hopefully THR Virus and RZM Renaud can make it the next time their teams compete. Having the coaches drive for those teams on the opening week really hurt THR and RZM in points. It was pretty much business as usual seeing Williams, RBR, and Lazarus on the top three on this championship. But seeing RDE above THR is honestly surprising. And let's talk about FRF, Fast Racers Forza. This team showed up to compete, and they did well for themselves, especially Handicap, who did an amazing job in the first matchup. Which team will win match 3? Will it be Red Bull Racing, Joda, Sauber, or Mordor? Let me know down below. Thank you for watching this week's episode of Last Week in Forza. Pretty much for the next month and a half, it's just going to be Last Week in Forza RC, and I will talk about some other matchups too that happen with some racing. But for now, I just wanted to focus on the Forza RC. Stay tuned for more updates from the Forza community and get notifications by subscribing and clicking that bell so you know exactly when the new episode goes live. Have a wonderful day, everyone. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
What makes a man? Is it the power in his hands? Is it his quest for glory? Give it all you got to